for years and years. It's people like you who are engaged with youth, that are working in law enforcement, working in social services, working as youth, trying to do outreach with kids. You are all experts in my book.
We look at the risk factors in 5 domains. What's the risk factor for this kid as an individual, school, community, peer, and family?
I mean, when you have the majority of the kids really hopeful about their future and coming back to you and saying, you know, Andrew, I got into college, or, you know, Andrew, I reconnected with my family, or whatever. You know, all that success really outweighed the tragedy.
I felt like I was on top of the world while I was engaging, and I ended up in prison.
The Beatitudes is happy are blessed are the poor in spirit, or the single-hearted, or those who work for justice. And the original language is not blessed or happy, but rather, you're in the right place if. It turns out it's not about a spirituality at all. It's about a geography. It's about where do you choose to stand. The fact that all of you in this room, on one way or another, stand with the most disparaged, culturally disparaged group in your communities will matter hugely in terms of changing the way we seek to address this issue.
The Tour of Excellence is a subset of the SWOL program. Our programs focus on 3 areas: cognitive, physical, and environment.
And of course, the race that we were after in the first place in 1914 happened to be the Chinese, who we brought to our country to build our railroads. And once they were built, the real Americans were saying, well, they're taking our jobs away. Now, we couldn't deport them, but we could certainly imprison a lot of them if we had the right laws. So we created this law that said that if you possessed opium, you were going to go to prison.
But as a people, we've been institutionalized and impacted by colonization for over 400 years. And over this last little while, we have been given, in some degrees, and in varying degrees, the opportunity to rebuild our spirit, our bodies, and our minds.
For us, funding is a huge issue. We're still not firmly committed for funding. We're fighting to stay alive. Traditionally, up till now, we've been 6 months by 6 months to stay alive in the program. We've been around since 2003. Michael's done an evaluability assessment of the program. We're considered one of the best practice programs, but funding is still an issue.
So it's a mixture in between a presentation and a facilitated discussion, just around sort of the cause and effect of crime, the purpose and existence and reason for gangs, a little bit of the history, a lot of my life experience, and then just trying to talk with the youths and have something real.
So that they could be the role models for those young people, so they could know that they too can be Doc H. It's not about becoming a basketball player or becoming a movie actor or becoming a hip-hop star. But I can tell you, if I could go on to become a professor or a CEO or a public presenter, any one of them can do it. That's more achievable.
It's a journey. Just like it's a journey when I went in. It was a journey coming out. I had to really hang on hope and God's grace. Right? Like I had to hang on those 2 things, right?
Albeit there's no elixir for this cycle of madness, I believe with the constant efforts on behalf of all of you, others, and myself, we can prevail. And I'd like to add that we all are prevailing now, one gang member at a time. Thank you.